do this talk, ladies. Thanks for agreeing to do this. These are my daughters. The firstborn. Introduce yourself.
I am the firstborn, Giovanna Lisa. Lisa coming from the Madre.
Lisa coming from Lisa. So this is my
just like
firstborn. This is my secondborn.
I got an introduction.
Jasmine.
So my name is Jasmine
an
Angelie, from Lisa Angelie.
I gave both my daughters my name. How did that happen, right?
I'm more of the difficult child, but we're here,
You're both kind of difficult.
We are both
You both had your moments of difficulty. That's for sure. Well, that's why we're having this conversation, right? I am here to talk about my docu-series, Diaries. And I thought it would be interesting for you all to hear some of the things that I wrote in my diary when I was growing up, and how you were involved to some degree. So I'm going to read an excerpt from my diary, and then I'm curious to know how you all would react to it. Are you ready?
Are we going to need the wine?
Are we ready? I don't know.
Do we have the wine on deck?
I don't know. Are you ready? Get ready.
It's
if you're not ready, get ready.
Okay, cheers.
Without me? Without me?
Cheers. But
cheers. So let's read this story that I want you guys to listen to, and then we'll talk about it. Well, this is going back, I think this was in 2006? Something like that.
Okay, okay, keep going.
So here's what the story's about. Jasmine had a fight at school with a girl that will be kept nameless. The girl was Jane Doe. We'll call her Jane Doe. Anonymous. Jane Doe. This girl was giving Jazz dirty looks in school, talking smack, right? And Jasmine always ignored it and let it go. The Wednesday before, she got aimed from someone who created. She got aimed. That's what I wrote. Aimed.
It says AIMD.
It's a platform. It's a platform.
Oh, okay.
AIM is the platform. I don't remember what the A was, but it's something.
AOL Instant Message.
AOL?
Okay.
You don't remember. I remember.
All right.
Instant message. I got
so how do I say it? AIM'd or instant message? You got an instant
message. I got hit up.
All right.
I got hit up.
You got an instant message from someone who created a screen name entitled Jasmine is Whack. She spelled it the same way that this person spelled her hatred out for Jasmine. And remember, this is what I wrote in my diary. She said, I hate this bitch named Jasmine. I've never had so much hatred for someone as I do for this girl. That night, she was instant messaging you saying she wanted to fight, but wouldn't say who she was. And you just kept saying, say your name. And the person wouldn't say their name. And then when my husband and I dropped you off at school, people were coming up to you saying, Jane Doe wants to fight you.
They're trying to fight.
Yeah. So you approached her and said, what'd you say? You want to fight me? That's what you said. You want to fight me? She said, I'm not going to fight you here on school grounds. And
she wanted to go to the
park get suspended. You're not worth it. Meet me at Baldwin Park. Ooh. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. Then she walked away. And, me and your dad drove back up to the school. And we basically encouraged you to call her out. And punch her in the face and beat her ass.
To do what? To defend herself.
To defend herself, obviously, but I don't think the girl was expecting it because she was bigger and she was bullying you and she was going after you behind the scenes, right? And my thing was, don't be afraid of anybody doing that to you. You need to be able to stand up for yourself, right? So yeah, that's what happened. And I say to myself, first of all, how did you feel in that moment? Because I look back on it now, and I do this often. I go into my diaries. I have 30 of these books that I kept. And every now and again, I go back to them, and I'm like, what in the world was I doing and thinking at that particular moment? So now that I'm bringing this up as a story, and, I talk a lot about this kind of stuff in my book, experiences that I had. What if this were you and your daughter or your daughter? Did I handle that the right way, or was I, really bugging out? Because I look back now and I'm like, that wasn't the right way to handle. Should I have gone and talked to the person's parents or what?
No, I would agree.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I don't think
So
so.
what would you all have done, and what did you think about how it went?
Personally, again, coming from a big family and coming from someone that has multiple, we ride or die for our siblings. So you encourage your daughter to defend herself. However, yes, there should be a way that you can express, like, okay, talk to each other, but sometimes that doesn't always work.
Makes it worse.
Especially for people from our community, right? It doesn't always work, but they say snitches get stitches, right? So what we have to do is learn how to protect ourselves in a way that we are still being defensive, but not being aggressive.
Not aggressive. Well, this was you. How did you feel? How did you feel? That's a good point. How did you feel knowing that? I was like, go get yours.
I was scared, y'all. It was my first fight. I was so scared. They was like, you better go to school and you better stand up for yourself. And I was like,
I don't think they were encouraging you to fight. I just wanted to make that clear.
no, they wanted me to stand up for myself.
Yourself.
Whichever way
and
that
how
meant
that
for me
happened,
to do.
Yes, absolutely.
I think I was encouraging her to fight.
Maybe. All right.
I was encouraging her to fight because I felt like it's not right that, behind the scenes, the person was, calling you out. And then we found out that it was that person. Like the connection
I knew it was
made, and we knew it was her, right? And were you scared?
Yeah, I was scared because it was my first fight.
Yeah.
I had to go to sleep the whole night, and I was like, I gotta wake up tomorrow and fight this girl.
But you should never be scared though, because you got a whole crew.
But you weren't there.
But what about if it were your daughter?
I had to go there by myself and fight that girl.
Right,
you have a daughter now. What would you do?
So
you have a daughter now. What would you do if your daughter was in the same
I
situation?
would probably do the same thing. I'm not gonna lie. If it was up to me and my daughter and I have 2 sons. So I have 2 sons and a daughter. So my daughter already has to be tougher than everyone else because she got to deal with her brothers, right? She's going to deal with her brothers' roughhousing and all that stuff. So she has to have this kind of
Tough skin,
right? So now when she's going to school and if people are bullying her, I'm absolutely going to tell her to defend herself, right? But I don't know. It's just the way that the way she has to present herself. She might not even have to do that. She might just be like, her brothers show up. Like, I don't know. She might not have to.
Wouldn't that be a wonderful world?
But I would definitely teach her to defend herself and protect herself. But
I don't know. I look back and I think that, maybe we should have done it differently, Obviously, as parents, you care about your children. You can't be there for them every step of the way. Could we have encouraged you to attempt to talk to her and say, excuse me, can we sit down and talk about this situation? Because, I recognize that there's no at that age.
I think it was handled the right way.
Wait, was she willing to talk? Or
I'm sure she was not willing to talk.
Do you remember this incident well?
I remember.
Or is it only now that I brought it up that you're like, I remember more and more of it now?
I mean, yes and no, but I remember that, like, when it happened, I was so afraid. I was like, oh my God.
Right.
Somebody's really being mean to me and
Yeah.
bullying me.
Right.
What's gonna happen?
Right.
Yeah.
And then what's gonna happen next? I was like, am I gonna get in trouble? What if I fight?
Right.
I know I'm told to, fight, but what if I do fight? Am I gonna never be able to go to school again? So
right.
it was a little scary, but once it happened, I was like, whew, that adrenaline got out of me. I was like,
so you felt
yes.
more confident knowing that your parents had your back in a situation where you felt like you were being bullied.
Absolutely.
Now, if you had kids and when you have kids, would you do the same thing? Do you feel like you'd go the same way?
They better go to school and fight.
Yes,
and you better not come home until you make sure you fought.
Yes.
Because she might be the firstborn and the first girl. She doesn't have brothers to be like, come fight for me.
Come take care of me.
You got to take care of yourself.
Did that teach you anything personally? Like, I know you said that, it helped you get that energy out, that anxiety. You changed your your feeling about being afraid after that? How did that incident shape who you are today? If it did, I mean.
Yeah, I feel like I don't let nobody play with me anymore. Even though I was young and it probably wasn't the right thing to do, but now I'm definitely like, don't talk to me like that.
You don't let anybody just talk to you anyway.
Me no kind of way. Whether you behind a AIM, you behind a MySpace.
Now it's social media, right?
You
it's all over
Instagram.
And what's the other one? Oh, I was on Snapchat for like all of 10 days.
Facebook,
I think I was on Snapchat for 10 days. And I was like, oh, this is too much for me.
Yeah,
There's too much going on Snapchat. I don't think I can handle that. But is there still a lot of bullying happening on social media these days? What are you guys seeing about bullying?
I mean,
I think yes and no.
Yeah?
There's always bullying. I don't see much for myself or my age group, but I know that it's there. And I worry for my teenage kid, my son, who's 13. I know he could find stuff all over the internet.
It's so easy to get information now, right?
Right. But I always try to tell him, too, at the same time, it's like you got to have your own brain. You can't just go off of what you see on the internet. And
I'm worried about the internet for young people. Yeah. It bothers me, and it started in your day and age, right? Yeah. My age group, we're 80s babies. It started in yours. But what I'm saying is,
when we used to sneak home and download stuff on LimeWire and AIM chats and all that stuff.
But what I'm saying is that in the 80s, we didn't have that problem, right?
Yes,
we weren't. That's why Diaries came into hands so, well, because we didn't really have an outlet to go and sneak into and find information like you guys have. So it started in your generation.
I feel like now there's nothing to hide behind because you get on Instagram, but you know all your you go to
all
school,
your people.
You can't hide behind it anymore.
It gets a little tricky when I guess when you go on different platforms, because now there's so many different platforms. There's Twitter, there's Facebook, there's Instagram, there's so many different platforms, and people can put on
what about when people put on fake names? Because that's, I think, what happened
for every
in the aiming case.
They can put on a facade.
They still have that
for every
right.
site.
They can fake it up.
You can still make a fake page and talk smack or whatever it is to whoever you want to, and then they'll probably never know who it is.
Are you going to track your kids? Are you tracking your son's social media? Does it get hard to do because it's so quick and they're always on it? So how can you support ensuring that they don't get caught up in that maze of social media?
For me, I try to watch what he's logged on to or what he's into, and I try to have access for everything, but I know I'm not. I mean, I try to be super mom, but I'm not super mom. Like, he'll have some sites that I maybe don't know about, right? So I do my best.
That's my concern. That's my big concern.
I do my best to track him as best as I can do, but at the same time, I want to give him some space. It's very hard and it's very difficult, especially at the age he's 13 now. So it makes it hard for me to kind of know what direction he's going. 1 minute he's on Twitter, and next minute he's on TikTok, and and he's very active and
he's very animated and into performance and entertainment.
Yeah,
right,
so
right.
Which
probably makes it worse because his brain is probably like,
all over the place.
Following this track, and then switches gears to the next track.
But his dad and I, we try our best to talk to him and tell him what is inappropriate and what's appropriate and what's open for him to use, and try to get him to understand, like, hey, sometimes you may see stuff that looks cool, but
do you guys talk to him? Do you talk to him and say, I saw this whatever video on Instagram today. Have you seen this? And
I think
get his
dad probably
opinion
does more than me.
Would you consider doing that?
I am not on it as much now. I'm so busy with work. I'm not even on social media that much now that I used to be. I used to be posting. I used to have.
I noticed that because you ain't been seeing all my videos that
Yeah.
I've been posting lately about my
No.
Fab Over 40 contest. You don't be seeing none of them or
You
saying
get
nothing.
your likes later. I'm not on social media that much anymore because I'm just so busy with taking care of that. But I do try to give his dad a heads up, like, hey, if it's not me, it got to be one of us. Like, you know.
Yeah. I don't know if I would handle the bullying situation the same way as I did with you as I would with my grandkids, you know?
What would you do?
I don't know. It's like I just feel like as I said, looking back, there could have just been a better way to handle that, you know?
Because I'm stepping behind them little kids.
But
Right.
you guys are
I'm
better
not
than
gonna
me.
lie.
But y'all are better than me because I'm trying to remember. I feel like if I had a bully situation, I wouldn't come to. I just kind of.
You wouldn't come to your parents.
No, I just dealt with it. And then when you had your bully
Maybe
situation.
that's why.
But when you had your situation.
You young lady.
It up how you did.
What?
What?
I was at that point. I was just taught to kind of deal with it myself.
Who taught you that?
It just came that way. I don't know if you told me that.
Or did
or
you
Brad
feel
told me
like
that.
you couldn't come to mommy and be
maybe.
like, "This is why it happened.
Maybe.
What should I do?"
Maybe. I think that might have been it too. At that age, I kind of felt like I had to figure it out myself.
Why is it so difficult to talk to parents?
Y'all don't be understanding.
Yeah.
What are we, Will Smith? Parents just don't understand?
Yeah.
No, I don't believe that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't believe that.
That might
You could
be
talk.
It. That might be
You
it.
can talk.
I think it's because there's a disconnect.
There's a
Yeah.
disconnect.
Parents look at you like you're your kids, and you look at them just like you're your parents, but it's like
Right.
both of you guys are still people.
Yeah.
So your parents.
When I had bully situations, I didn't go to you guys and be like, yo, somebody's bothering me. Like, I just dealt with it and had to figure it out on a day-to-day
I think
thing.
what it was, I was always afraid of the consequences.
Right.
Of what?
Of what could
Any
happen.
Consequence of what?
Anything.
Of what? Your
Which
bully
thing?
bullying
The bully
you,
or
your
the parent?
parents finding
Or
out
both?
that you got
Both.
bullied? Like what?
No, not finding out that I got bullied. Me maybe taking the initiative to deal with it in my own way, as opposed to
Getting adult feedback
perspective.
and
Yeah.
support. Yeah.
You were like, well, let me just deal with it.
No,
I'm
but
like,
I see
damn, well,
that-
if
I
I
see-
deal with
I
it,
Is that a
what's gonna
generational?
happen?
Is that a
I see what you're
generational
saying.
thing?
I see what you're
Is that a
saying.
generational thing? Meaning your age group, because you guys
They're
are
different.
a couple of years apart.
Yeah.
You guys
Yeah.
are a couple of years apart. So do you think
Right.
that's based on the difference in your opinion of how
I
you would
agree,
handle
because
it?
on your hand, what you're saying, your feelings was, for me, I
You
always
had no
felt
fear.
like I had to protect you. So
But I'm saying
whatever.
aside from me, when it's you.
When it's you dealing with a
When it's
situation on
me,
that
yes,
you're
when
being
it's
bullied.
Me, I
Have
had
you ever
to
been
feel like-
bullied?
I did a little bit, but I felt like I had to take care of it myself. So I didn't feel like I had to come to you and be like.
So what I'm saying is
somebody's
why.
But then
what was
also-
the difference?
But because I went to 3 different high schools.
So
I went all over the place, so I had to deal with stuff differently. and
Adapting.
just
You had to
adjust.
learn how to adjust and adapt.
I had to adjust and adapt and deal with it how it came to me. When I was finally stable in a place, I felt comfortable enough that I didn't get bullies. I felt like everybody loved me and I loved everyone else. Like, I didn't have the problems. But with you and with Gabriel and, with my siblings, if anyone came at you guys in a different way, I was already like on go.
Ears
So-
coming off.
Yeah.
she don't play.
Earrings coming
Like,
off.
not
I'ma
play.
be like,
Brittany,
where we going?
Brandon, like if anything happened with any of y'all, I was on go. And
How
I
we
don't know
looking?
if that's from what I saw or from what you guys experienced, but me knowing that I had to fend for myself, I didn't want you guys to feel like you had to fend for yourself. So
But I feel like there comes a time that I gotta fend for myself. I can't always call my siblings and be like, "Oh my god."
absolutely.
And that was
oh
probably
my God.
a
Calling the
time.
troopers.
Yeah. I wasn't calling my siblings. I was calling my parents. Like, I gotta fight.
that's
Like,
the
where were
issue.
y'all
That's-
anyway? Let's
but
talk
see,
about that.
here
Where
we
were
go.
you when I had to fight?
That's the issue. You don't need to call your parents.
She
You
was in
got
school.
so many. Call me and I'll come out of school, right?
Yeah.
You got so many siblings. You didn't
You
have to call your
weren't
parents.
there.
But that's what I mean. Call
I had
me.
to fight by myself.
I
All
was
my
there
life.
before.
I had to fight.
I had to fight, sis.
But that's what I'm saying. You call your siblings, and we always have your back.
It probably worked out better that way than my siblings were
Yeah,
not here.
no, that's
Now
true.
that I think
We
about
probably
it.
would've
I
turned
think
a
I
little-
remember a couple of scenarios where siblings had to, in this family, had to be there and support each other. So
Bruh.
with that said, I think
Yeah.
that might be a core value that we did establish for you both. Would you agree to that?
to defend
To defend your
defend
siblings,
each
to
other
take
and
care
support
of
each
your-
other. Absolutely.
Your siblings
Yes.
first and
Absolutely.
foremost. Family
Absolutely.
Girl.
family
All day,
first,
every day.
regardless
Yes.
of
Yeah,
whatever it is,
absolutely. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I guess in that sense, I'm happy to know that not that you were bullied, but that it gave you the confidence that you needed to handle future situations, and that based on your perspective,
Ain't nobody
that
gonna bully
it
my
was
sister
about
again.
being connected to your siblings and having your siblings back.
Yeah.
And that I have found, and I see it with all of you, regularly, that you all, hold each other tight. And I guess for me, it worked, My hopes and what I, set up for, you all to experience have worked out. So I'll look at that as a win.
Yeah,
We're
and
wrapping it up.
and
You won.
We won.
Yeah, we won.
Well, thanks, guys. I appreciate you conversing with me on that topic.
What's up, sis?
Up top. Boop, boop. Anyway, don't forget, you guys, pick up The Grave of My Soul. It's available on Amazon and Audible.
Find out more.
Peace out.